Good day, Your Excellency.
Good day.
Lovely to be in your beautiful country of Namibia.
Welcome.
And I'm quite impressed with what I've seen the first few days I've been here. So straight to the question, sir. Namibia, I'm still trying to process the vast country. Namibia, without doubt, is a tourist delight and a tourist destination. So how has the country been able to spearhead a tourism drive?
Well, firstly, Namibia is a child of Pan-Africanism, child of international solidarity, midwifed by United Nations. So we have that flavor of Pan-Africanism, also accommodating international community, and therefore, since people knew during the struggle, Namibia was struggling, country that many people supported, we thank Africans for that, and therefore people were eager, what is this country, and also desert, unique features we have. And of course, tourists were coming during apartheid, but they were only white people, they had their own things. So it has opened up after independence. UN people were here in the full force for about, and also brought Africans from all over with UN. So the country opened up and said, hey, let me go and visit that place. That's how ecotourism has expanded, and we have the unique features that we are exposing. We have the game parks, which are well maintained. We have the desert that we are maintaining properly, and it has its own unique attractions. That's why.
Interesting. So the next question: how was your administration able to steer the economic ship during the COVID-19 pandemic and its attendant lockdown?
That was the most difficult period. Ever since we took over, we had gone through crisis management. When we took over the office, we had a deficit of over 3 billion. Normal, now it's Namibian. Okay. So we don't collect taxes in the beginning, so there's a cash flow problem. We try to navigate through that, and then commodity prices went down. Angola was a problem. Angola was happening good to us, we didn't realize that, but an Angolan situation was bad, we suffered. And then severe drought, worst drought we had. As we were trying to navigate out of that, bang, this uninvited enemy, COVID came, difficult times. So we have been doing basically just crisis management all the 7 years I have been in office. But we are now saying, experts are saying, contrary to what World Bank will say, that we are getting a growth rate of 3%. That's what the bank governor said too. We are seeing that too. But of course the strike is going to affect that. If the civil servants are going to succeed, they are balloting. So they will severely affect the economic recovery. We also want to recover from COVID fatigue, so to say. It was devastating. And to move on with new ideas of green hydrogen, which has now put us on the world map. We discovered oil. We don't want the oil to be the curse, and therefore learn from experience of our brothers, how they've handled that, to avoid the pitfalls. We are latecomers, you must learn from those who are there, not to repeat the same mistakes, if there were mistakes. There are some that are no mistakes, but people just think there are mistakes. West Africa. But we are going to copy, we are going to learn from all the people. And we are thinking of that future energy source. First, continuing with the oil, it's a contradiction now. Oil is going to be there for about 10 years or so. The other project is a long-term project, that of hydrogen. So we are planning. I'll leave a legacy when I'm leaving.
Interesting. I will come back to the pertinent point you made about oil and gas. I'll come back to that later on. A key, my few days on the ground now, I've realized that I've gotten feedback from some people. What I've realized, or what I can gauge from discussions with people, that there's a key concern with citizens here in Namibia which has to do with the need for employment creation. What is the government doing about this?
Government is not a job creator. I told and I was condemned for that. Government provide conducive environment. First is to train people. Now we're at apartheid when Africans were left out from certain things. So wrongly or rightly we focus on education. Now what was a success? That we're trying to put students through school. When you have degrees, now that becomes a curse because they don't get jobs. And don't misunderstand or don't confuse this part with your part. In Nigeria, there are business people who are indigenous, who are entrepreneurs. They are creative, they create their own market woman concept. Those are all people who are having self-employment. Here, because there must be a boss, a white man, people expect somebody to hire you. Not all, but that is still a tendency here. That I must be hired. Now government must be an employment agency. Now we are saying government cannot employ everybody. We are saying we must provide conducive environment. Yes, we must do more. Youth must be employed. It's a time bomb, as it is. But the point is people must also create jobs. As West Africa, people create their own jobs. Market woman concept and so on, selling and sending students to universities in America. From there, that concept has been destroyed by apartheid, that you need a boss, somebody to hire you. And therefore you're looking up to the white man who is a boss, instructing you, paying you. That mentality is still there.
Oh, yeah. And it take a while for it to be eradicated.
And then the other thing, schools everywhere. We must train our children to get the skills that are matching the job market.
Job markets.
So a mismatch is there.
Oh, I understand. Yes. I understand. During and some also one other question which is a concern is some Namibians wonder if the numerous foreign trips to encourage investments are yielding results so far.
What numerous?
Okay.
What numerous? The problem in Namibia is that we are equal.
Equal?
Yeah, they feel.
Okay.
President is just as ordinary men like them. Nonsense. I have head of state duties. You know, at my age, do you think I enjoy traveling? Go and sleep in a small hotel room and so on when I have my own property and farm. I go because I have to go, I have to be there. Firstly, I'm going next week. I'm going to a state visit, not going to lure the investors. That's a mistake they are making. And my trip, the ministers are going to do that. We're a board for that. I have a duty as a head of state that I have been declining sometimes. Now, my brothers from Jamaica was here, the Prime Minister. We took him around. Then he invited me for their 70th something birthday anniversary.
Some weeks ago.
Yeah. So he said, I'll be a guest of honor. You're a Pan-Africanist. We started, it started from there. I'm recognized as such. And I don't just jump and invite myself. There are many invitations I've turned down. And I select. But nobody can tell me when I'm carrying out my constitutional duty. It's not for lowering the business people. But even the trips have been cut down. Delegations, I got 10 people. Presidents will come with 40 or 50 people. Huh? I cut down. So nobody can lecture me about how I have to take my trips and so on. It's my constitutional duty. And at my age, I will tell you I don't enjoy flying. No.
Interesting comments. So the next question, during my research on Namibia, before flying in, it occurred to me that people in sub-Saharan Africa have not done a lot of Namibia-focused tourism and expeditions. And it appears a majority of tourists coming to Namibia are from the Western Hemisphere. Why so? And also, is Namibia more focused on tourists from the Western Hemisphere?
Why not? Well, they are the ones who have money. They are the ones who want to come and see the animals. So We didn't sit down and say, look, we want tourists to come only from West. We don't have a policy like that. There's no policy like that. If the Africans don't come, how do we go and tell them to come? Nigerians were coming here. There were visa problems. And some were just coming with the air, Namibia going there, to Nigeria and to Ghana. But people are just coming just to pass to South Africa, not stopping here. That's cheaper. So the airline is gone. Doors are open. Botswana started. Every Christmas time they just drive over. They camped. Now it's thousands who are coming. It's tourists. Christmas. They have their own camps there and so on. South African blacks are now doing that too. Only thing with that is they don't spend money in the country because you go and camp. You bring your own food too. So you're not going to be counted as a big. Now the Germans will come, they will therefore bring their money, and you are looking for money too. That's all. But now law is there to block the blacks from coming.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. With the serenity of Windhoek, the capital.
That said, we are Pan-Africanists.
Yes, yes.
So definitely, to prove that point, we are the first country, first as you can see, that AU flag, AU anthem. We are the first ones who were making to sing them with our national anthem. First ones. That flag has been flying that way since our independence, knowing that we are a child of AU, UN, and so on. So we invite Africans come here, they are brothers, but tourism is a question of to spend money. You must have money to come and spend money.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's all about the economics.
And as I talk about refugees, for instance, we are the first country who are issuing IDs. And I said, in that IDs, we don't call them refugees. We say African guest visitors.
Really?
African, yes. Again, I never heard of anywhere else. And those who are qualified academically, we like them to work. They are working. You don't know they are from, why they are just becoming some of them citizens.
Interesting.
Yeah. Skills.
Skill sets, yes.
Yes.
Highly skilled people. Interesting. To the next question, with the serenity of Windhoek, which would be perfect for tech startups, is Namibia and the government positioning herself to be a regional startup hub?
What?
A regional startup hub. The serenity of Namibia is perfect for tech companies.
Oh, tech.
Companies. Mm-hmm. Now, is Namibia and the government thinking of positioning herself to be a regional tech startup hub for Southern Africa?
We would like to, but we are also having a stiff competition from our brother with bigger and more open. But definitely, if you look at, we started to talk about, I have a committee of Fourth Industrial Revolution. Committee which has been working on it. We are talking about future of work. It's not going to be the same. We must start to how we come with the Industrial Revolution, going to talk about the artificial intelligence.
Yes.
We're talking about robotics. The job they are trying to demonstrate today, but the labor as we know it is dying out. We must retool our people
skill sets.
into skill sets to welcome the new technology. Without that, we are going to be left with us who are old. As young people, and they are there. Young people are going towards that. But we have to help them. They just had a session 2 weeks ago on tech and business, young people. You saw what they are trying to reproduce. I was shocked myself. So that's the way to go. There's no other way.
There's no other way. Impressive.
And we must also get this skill set from Africans. You see, if Africans are qualified, why must I go and get a young boy from the UK to come here?
Impressive. That's a Pan-African mindset.
We are a child of Africa.
Yeah, that's right. To the next question, what's the state of the bilateral relation between Namibia and Nigeria?
Excellent. Excellent at our level. It has been excellent. Nigeria has been, we say frontline states. That when our front lines were closer here, and Nigeria, during the struggle. and Nigerians used to contribute money to our struggle. So in Nigeria, we always had excellent relationship. I was mentored by Professor Adedeji. He was my mentor.
Who's that?
Professor Adedeji.
Adedeji.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He was of the Africa, of the at the AU.
AU, okay.
But not AU, he was of the Economic
African
Commission.
Union.
Economic Commission for Africa.
Okay. You were mentored by him?
Yes.
Oh,
And he therefore became the chairman of the Senate of the Institute for Namibia, where I was preparing Namibian bureaucrats. So he is the man who really taught me Africa.
Impressive.
I had to go and bury him. I had to travel to go and bury him.
And you had to
He
fly
was
to Nigeria?
our economic advisor.
You flew to Nigeria?
I flew to Nigeria. I had to go and bury him.
Oh,
Yes.
impressive.
Yeah.
Impressive.
His sons are still in contact with me. Oh yes, we are family now.
Brilliant. This is something. This is the human angle of you, of African leaders that people don't get to hear about. Impressive. To the next question, pertaining to what you alluded to some minutes ago. After Shell made a significant oil discovery early this year, or late last year, French oil corporation Total Energies also made a significant oil discovery in the Orange Basin, offshore southern Namibia. Now, how would these oil discoveries benefit Namibians vis-a-vis what we on the continent know as the oil costs?
Well, we were the last ones. We never, there was always that dream there is oil, we are told. So now it's proven, this oil. We're not going to reinvent the wheel. If there are experiences, good ones and bad ones, don't copy the bad ones, copy the good ones. Get the advice, and we don't have to jump and get excited. If we are poor, we are poor. So therefore I should to jump. That's where the secret of Botswana is. How Botswana is making it so good. Botswana is now the poorest country. And when Botswana got independence, they had that mentality, we are poor. So when they now got all these kind of diamonds, they didn't get excited. They just said we are poor. And they started to save money. That's why the secret of Botswana is. So we shouldn't get excited. We are getting well. We must just say we are still poor, or we are still have diamonds, or whatever it is. Not the world. Don't get excited. And we learn from other people's experience. We grew up in Africa. I've been in Africa. I've been in the world also, not only Africa. I had no problems in other parts of the world, in Europe. So we are going to cool it. We are going to get experts. We are not going to get excited. It's not going to bring anything new. It will be revenue. But it will take time. So we are going to leverage properly to Namibians to benefit from it. And we have set up a sovereign wealth fund, Belvedere. It's aimed at that kind of new discoveries, that we can easily demand such percentage must go to that fund, so that for future is guaranteed. We are going to finish the resources now, but let's now start to save for future. That's what the fund is set up for.
Brilliant. That means the government has been strategic, long-range plans. Interesting. A few more questions to go. What's your take on political leadership on the African continent?
Great. I'm Pan-Africanist, let me not tell you. We had great African leaders, founding fathers, extraordinary personalities who told us to wake up and fight and gain dignity. Kwame Nkrumah, Asike, all of them. Those founding people who told us, we are oppressed, you are suffering, get up. Somebody to wake you up. And we regard them as extra on Kwame Nkrumah, Sekou Touré, Keita, Nyerere, Kaunda, I just mentioned all of them. I even mentioned, I would go forward and say Mugabe, Nkrumah, and Mandela later on. But they all founding fathers. That's the first wave of African leaders. extraordinary personality, big guys. And therefore, they were respected, they are liberators, and so on. Second wave of African leadership came under very difficult confusion, Cold War confusion. So much so that we didn't have our own policies. We had to either pretend we were socialists.
Or pretend.
We didn't even read the Das Kapital, but we were socialists. We couldn't do anything with it. Then, because of the one-party state, military coups, one-party states are not bad per se. Nyerere did a wonderful job of one-party state. He developed the rural areas, Ujama principle. But one-party states and military coups were there. Third wave of African leaders comes through constitutional means, through elections. Now, no election is perfect. Look at American elections. So don't say, flawed elections. No. The point is we want to justify being there through elected means, through constitutional means. Many of us also have gone through the term limits as a principle. And I'm a biggest believer in term limits, especially if a president is elected direct by people, like I'm elected, direct by people, the sovereigns. You are accountable to them how? Very limited. They have a prime minister who sits in the parliament to be the leader of government, brings into account directly. But if you are elected direct by people like I am doing, that I have been done, and others, term limits. 2 5-year terms is in our constitution, and it cannot be changed. It should be that way. Why should the third wave African leaders think term limits are good and so on? You must deal with the processes, systems, and institutions, not individual. If you are counting on an individual big man, when that person is gone, everything will collapse. But if you are saying it's not me, it's not one person, it's a question of processes, systems, and institutions, strengthen those ones. Anybody can do it.
Interesting. To the next question, what's your philosophy on life?
Philosophy on life is, I'm not that frugal. I'm not that, when I was young, I lived in America, I lived in so life, I learned from different people what life is. I learned from Fidel Castro, who was my hero. Personal knowledge, I know. We had that relationship. I have met many people in America. My professor, Cesar Nemel, who taught me Africa, Pan-Africanism, at the school in America, not here.
Okay, definitely.
Yeah, that's where I learned Pan-Africanism. And then I've met many people in life. I used to enjoy a lifetime of partying, lifetime of relaxing, lifetime of hard work, fighting for struggle first. Whatever you do very well. Don't enjoy too much also very well too. Okay. But whatever you do, and Pan-Africanist. We had a Passoa in America. We were trying to unite all African students. When Biafra war started, of course, it broke up. But I'm a Pan-Africanist, and I like Africa to unite. Therefore, my lifestyle is being African. I can live anywhere in Africa. I'm in Africa, I will be welcome. I want Africans to move freely. But my lifetime is basically, I like music, I like soccer, I also like boxing, to watch, not fighting, to watch. So that's how I do. That's why, thanks God, I was given a healthy body. That people, when they're looking at me, they still think I'm a boy of 60, maybe so old. I will be 81 next week.
81 next week?
Yeah. That's I'm so healthy still because my lifetime was sports. I enjoy tennis. I used to play a little bit of it in soccer too, but I watch it. Therefore, I take away problems from my office. Okay. And one Indian doctor told me, don't go with your problems to your bed. So how do I do it? I nearly died. First, when I was setting up this government, I really, and that removal was God did. So what happened is when I was demoted, I got angry. I said, Comrade President, I have been a loyal servant. You never called me one day to tell me I have these weaknesses. Why did you demote me? He didn't get a point. Now we're always together. I said, okay, as long as I know there was nothing, my weaknesses, no problem. But people came to my house, churches. I wasn't going to church. As we don't fight, we were not going to church. People came to my house. I was a child, I was brought up in a Christian. Christian, very, very strong. But during the struggle, all the years, I was not. So these people came, churches. Things happen for a purpose. When one door closes, many other doors open. What goes around comes around. But 2 weeks, and all of them different were saying that. I say, hey, Hage, maybe this demotion that forced me to leave happened because of God. Because I was really sick. My blood pressure was 190, over 90. I couldn't sleep. I was taking sleeping pills, not 3 hours maybe. So it happened for a purpose. So things happen for a purpose. When one door closes, many other doors open. Doors opened. When this door was closed, doors open. I say, hey, I was saying no, until the World Bank offer. Done by African solidarity. Because they were meeting in South Africa and they saw what happened. And Kofi Annan said, hey, Baton called you now, he's dead now. He said, look, I know him, we're together. Why don't you think I'm taking somebody away from Washington? Why doesn't Hage go there? I was offered. I said, no, my brothers, I'm not for exile. I'm tired of exile. I want to be at home. I want to relax as well. When we had now meeting of the ruling party to have now Politburo, I came in and I was told by the guy, you are in. That used to have security guys, not now. You are in. After counting for 21 people for 4 hours, I lost by 1 vote. I stood as a Viva Swapo. But that's now when the super said, and I said, hey, let me call these guys. Some people told me, hey, why don't you just go? So I did, call them, and then I went, a little bit of interview. I went up at the World Bank with 5 years contract. I didn't go to stay there. I resigned and came back. And sit there behind there. I was elected. That's why I'm back again in politics.
Interesting. Lovely. So to the final question, what's the title of the book you are currently reading?
I'm writing a book. I have
you are writing a book?
I have people. Yeah. I thought you knew it.
Okay.
Oh, what I'm reading.
Yes. What book are you reading?
What I'm reading. I'm not reading a book to read a book. I am studying. So because of that, I have all kinds of books. Just to because of what I'm working.
Yes, because of your position.
Also what I'm working on for my paper book that I will be.
Okay, you'll be writing.
So it's a really
correction
of subject-based books.
Okay.
I'm not reading for fun.
Definitely reading for study. Lovely. So brilliant interview. It's a privilege and honor to be in your presence. Thank you very much.